And welcome to episode 36 of Ripping the Rack podcast. I am your co-host, Tim. With me today, as usual, is my co-host, Brian. Say hi,
What's
Brian.
going on, everybody? Hope everyone has had a wonderful week and a good weekend.
What's happening? How are you?
Well, it's Monday night. Taking in all of the fine football yesterday and just not recovering so much as it was a long night. We had a long Dudes and Belts podcast last night. Got to
How
been
about
around.
them Steelers, huh? Let's give it up for the Steelers.
Ask the guy on the on Twitter and his TV how he likes the Steelers.
Oh, God, I hate the Steelers.
Ah,
I should say I hate them. I have a strong dislike for them.
you're a Pats fan.
I am a Pats fan. Have been a Pats fan for a long, long time. And now I'm a long time Bucks fan now.
Yeah, you jumping on the Bucks wagon?
I mean, just for this year. I mean, I guess with all the teams that are left.
I mean, you're not going to do anything crazy like go buy a Tampa Bay Brady jersey, right? I don't know.
Right? I'm not Freshie.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Freshie.
I'm not. I do want to start this episode out with a very happy birthday to a very special listener of ours. Even though the Habs do suck, we really would like to wish Angela Paquette a very happy birthday. I believe her birthday is on Tuesday, which the show airs.
Well, here's her birthday present. A very special shout out from the very best Candlepin Bowling. Well, one of the very best Candlepin Bowling podcasts out there.
Yes. Definitely not the only bowling podcast out there.
We are one of the better ones, though.
Are we the only one now?
No, Alley Chat's still releasing stuff. They're just not doing the podcast.
So we're the only bowling podcast out there.
We're the only weekly audio bowling podcast. Well, we're audio video. Yeah, we're one of two.
Okay. So happy birthday, Angela. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate you. The next time we see you, we will definitely make sure that you have an autograph picture of Brian and I.
That's right. Yeah.
Definitely. We'll make sure
because that's going to be wonderful. I don't know. You hang that in the bathroom if you have trouble being constipated. I don't know.
I don't know.
Gives you purpose to poop, I guess. Look at these ugly dudes. Ah!
But so happy birthday. Habs suck. I will continue to say that because I speak the truth.
Sure you do.
I don't lie. I can look you straight in the camera and without lying say the Montreal Canadiens suck.
It's a little too up close and personal with Tim.
But my pretty good spot.
Extreme close up.
So
bowling.
We bowling.
How's bowling going, Tim?
I am another day closer to retirement.
Well, there you go. I am on pseudo retirement.
Yeah,
I'm taking a sabbatical from bowling due to the COVIDs.
I don't know if I'll ever fully retire from bowling. I don't know. But I thought about it this weekend. Angie and I were driving back from Sugarloaf yesterday. For those of you that don't know, Sugarloaf is about 2.5 hours from here. Largest ski resort east of the Rockies.
Tim was not skiing, though.
I was not skiing. Well, I do ski. I mean, I grew up skiing.
You know how to.
I know how to. But we're on our way back, and I got thinking as Angie was quiet, and I looked over, and I couldn't tell if she was sleeping or not. I don't think she was, but she might have been. But anyway, I digress. Got thinking about tournaments and bowling, and I hear a cat meowing like crazy.
That's our podcast producer.
Could you hear that?
Yes, that's our podcast producer. Probably Luna.
It is Luna. She's trying to come through the door. I got the door closed. Anyway,
she's our podcast producer. She knows she's supposed to be to work.
So I just got thinking about bowling and how much traveling I've done, because we had that conversation about traveling for bowling, and how many weeks of vacation that I've missed because of bowling, and how I increasingly am more sore after bowling. Things just don't come as easy anymore, like it used to. And I just don't know how much more I want to put my body through the tournaments, as many tournaments as I typically do.
Mm-hmm.
Which then led me down the path of, well, if I'm not bowling tournaments, do I really want to bowl league?
Maybe if Jordan wanted to bowl a league. That's the only way I can see you bowling a league and not bowling tournaments.
Maybe. I don't know. But I'm not saying that it's coming this year. I'm not saying it's coming next year or the year after. But I mean,
we'll let everyone know when the Tim Matera retirement ceremony is, and we'll live stream it. And
I appreciate that.
It'll be like Larry Bird night for those of you that can remember back when Larry Bird retired.
I remember that. You know where I was when he retired? When they had that ceremony?
Where?
The Patsies in Waldoboro bowling in the state tournament. They had it on the TV.
I was at home on the couch sitting next to Dad because Dad didn't miss an iota of it. In fact, he taped it. I remember we watched it a few times.
Yeah, I've watched it a few times. Larry was definitely my favorite Celtic of all time.
As we see over your right shoulder.
Right shoulder, Larry.
And Larry above him.
And Larry.
Yeah, there's 3 pictures of Larry.
And Larry. He's the
had
GOAT.
The best mustache in basketball for a long time.
Talk about the best porn stash.
So we do have some sad news in the world of bowling.
Yes.
As we found out on Facebook this week, the Mixed Worlds has been canceled, per Deb DeRozier's post on Facebook. Honestly, though, it's probably for the best.
So my take is, as usual, I do have a take on it.
You think it's too early?
I do. But I'm not disagreeing with the decision. I'm not. I
think it is perfect timing because you have your Canadians who need to really start saving up money if they were coming because their dollar is garbage when they come over the border, and they need to make hotel reservations. And
so you've known for a year that the tournament is in June. Why would you just start?
Not last year. We didn't even know if there was a tournament.
Well, what I'm saying is the tournament is held in June every year. Now, except for last year and now this year. If you know that the tournament, it's just like the men's Worlds. I know the Worlds is in November of every year.
Mm-hmm.
I start planning for the next one when I get done the first one, meaning I start putting a little money aside.
I don't disagree with that, but a lot of people wait for their taxes to come back. I don't know what they do in Canada. I don't know if they have income tax returns or whatever, but I know especially when I was, not married and, I could do whatever, I wanted. Not whatever I wanted, but I got
I'm telling Kelly.
I got to put more money towards bowling and be irresponsible because it was. I would take my tax returns and just flush them away into the whatever for the Worlds. Like that was my Worlds money. Like the trip was paid for.
Yeah.
I mean, now some of it goes to golf trips because I've gotten older, but I digress. But some people need that. It's not coming. Okay, cool. Now I can use this money to take care of some bills or to do this or to do that. This just allows them to make a much easier decision. I mean, if you're sitting there in March and April and you're waiting and you're like, I got this money, but I don't want to spend it. But,
No, I get it. So ultimately, I agree with the decision of canceling the Mixed Worlds. I do. I agree with it. Number one, the border's not going to be open. So having a Mixed Worlds.
More than likely, no.
No, I don't think it's going to be open until sometime in, I'm going to say July, August time frame. That's kind of what I've been hearing. Not that I've got my ear, whatever.
That also means that if it's not July or August, that means the Can-Am in St. John is also canceled.
Correct.
More than likely.
I would have to guess. That would be yes as well. The Super Bowl tournament in the Moncton 560, I know that was moved to, they were thinking about May. My guess is they're probably going to end up canceling it, even though they may have a smaller modified tournament for this year.
It depends on what their regulations are
It
up
does.
there.
I don't. I mean,
I know right
they,
now in Nova Scotia, I don't know if they can have more than 30 people in a bowling alley.
I think yeah, it's 20 or 30. Uh,
Yeah.
so I believe um, it's the right decision for the mixed world. I only say it's a little early because we are talking June and we are in January. This is something you might have been able to maybe kind of wait until March just to see, can they roll out the vaccines quicker? Can they do things in a faster pace that maybe
Mhm.
we could get back to some semblance of normal. I'm not going to call it a new normal. I hate that. I hate that connotation. I don't like it, and I
We
don't want there.
adapt. We adapt and evolve to the new lifestyle.
Yeah. So I would like to get back to some semblance of what we consider normalcy. Um, so
I mean that's a loose word, and I'm not going to go off on a tangent right now, but to me, I would just like to, even if I have to wear a piece of cloth over my face, I would still like to go sit in your house and watch football with you. I would still like, even if I have to wear a mask, I still want to go to a bar, do this, drink my beer, and watch football with my friends. I'm fine
yeah,
with that. And I know that's not normal, but guess what? It's a fucking piece of cloth on your face. If you can't be normal, I'm sorry.
go. I've had several of my friends go to Asia over the last 8 to 10 years for work, for pleasure, for whatever. I'm talking
Mhm.
Japan, China,
Yeah.
Philippines,
Philippines,
Korea.
Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, several of my friends, and I can tell you for a fact that a lot of Asians have worn masks for years.
If you go back, I went back in the first Wrestle Kingdom I watched, which is every January from the Tokyo Dome. It's New
Mm-hmm.
Japan Pro Wrestling. Every one that I watched in the past 3, 4 years, you always see it's a 50-50 split.
Yeah,
Like 50% of the crowd has a mask on. It's just culture over there because it's so dense. The population density is so much in just a small area. Japan is not that big.
no, no, it's very
And
small.
and they have so many people that it's good practice that if you even have the flu or you have the sniffles, you put a mask on.
Yeah,
It's common decency over there that you don't get everybody else sick because you literally are right on top of each other.
yeah. So I don't have a problem with the mask. I mean, look, I don't necessarily like them.
Nobody
I
does.
no, and I only say that because, like for bowling, I wear glasses when I bowl,
Right. And they fog up.
and they fog up. And you laugh at me because there are times where I'll take my glasses off because I'm pissed off, and I'll put them on the thing, and I'll throw a box and be like, "Ah, shit, that didn't work. Let's put the glasses back on." Um, Hell, I've even left the bowling alley and driven home to get my glasses because I
That's true.
left
He
them
has.
because I left them at home.
And I mean, that was
Um,
just, I didn't want to get off on a big tangent on that. I know we're talking
yeah,
about bowl, but like you talk about the new normal, I just call it, well, this is what I have to do now.
yeah. So here's just so you know, I had an alert come across my phone, and I on my other screen I also have Facebook up so I can
Mm-hmm.
read questions that our multitudes of listeners have for us.
Right.
Um, so an alert just came across the FBI bulletin warns of armed protests being planned at all 50 state capitals. Just
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
just wanted to throw that out there. Looking forward to that.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Um,
So, anyways, anybody in the Canada area, if you could smuggle us in, that would be great. We just need to get away from the Civil War on the Underground Railroad, like we said last week, to get to the north, which is Canada now.
yeah, yeah. So it is what it is. I just so let's get back to bowling. This is the
Right.
bowling pod.
Yeah.
This is bowling
Yeah.
podcast. We will have
Friday we will. Yeah.
I'm going to say it here with Brian here. We haven't talked about our Friday edition yet on what we were going to talk about. This will be something that we talk about. Have to. It's the biggest
Yeah.
thing going on in the United States right now.
I agree.
We'll talk a little bit about it. So bowling, the Howard Dearborn 560 in Rockport, that is scheduled for the first weekend in March. I will have a decision from Jason probably this week, next week at the latest, on that tournament. My guess, we're probably going to have to cancel it, would be my guess. And then Jason will probably have some type of his own smaller 560 type tournament for only main bowlers, because we can only have up to 50 people in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, if we had 9 teams, it's 45 people. And then, of course, him.
Plus the workers.
Plus a couple of workers. You know, and as he said, he goes, that have to be from Maine because everyone else has to quarantine if you come into the state. And
and for anybody who is like, well, that's only if we get reported. Jason is a wonderful dude. He does a lot for the game. Let's not screw his business up.
Correct. And as Jason said, he goes, I don't know if he had checked with the governor's office or if someone had done something. And that's the information he was given, which means that tournament was on the radar.
Yeah, they knew.
So I'm not going to screw with Jason's business. He would most likely, he would like to postpone it if possible. He had mentioned the summertime, sometime in August. The problem with that, as we all know, hotel prices in this area in the summer is stupid outrageous.
Oh, I wasn't even going to go there. I was going to go, it's a tin building, and if you thought Bangor was hot, you ain't seen nothing.
I've never experienced it that hot at Rockport in the summer.
It's the same thing. Like when it's 100 outside. I'll put it this way: he has AC and it does work. It's a relief, but not a giant relief when you walk in. You know, you can tell it's cooler. But again, when you get enough people in there, all of a sudden that AC doesn't work that well anymore.
Yeah.
As it is with any business.
Yeah. But again, I'm selfishly, I'm thinking of his business. What would be the best for his business?
Exactly. And I think him maybe postponing this and having a smaller, either in-state or in-house tournament would probably be better.
I would think so. And that's probably what I'll end up talking to him on Thursday about, is making that decision. It sucks. I understand it. He was looking forward to it. That was going to be good money for him. He's been struggling, obviously. The business has been struggling. No fault of his own. You know,
right. It's just the times.
Just the times, unfortunately. So,
there was another state tournament yesterday. They did have the 225 cap doubles at Westport. Congratulations to Zach Skinner and Renee Skinner for winning that.
My question is, do they have, with this, I think they still have scratch and open, scratch and handicap.
I'm not sure. I just saw that they had posted that they had one.
Okay. Oh, I saw they had one. Zach bowled well. He was 1190 something. That's a tough house.
I got a couple of snaps too, and it looked like they were adopting, I call it the Oakland Park model. It was one team to a set of lanes. Yeah. So I honestly, and to talk about that in bowling, I like bowling like that. I think it goes quicker. Even without the pandemic, I think I would like to bowl that way. It goes quicker. You're not waiting. I noticed we get out earlier.
We do, and we do go quicker. The only problem is once we get through this pandemic, is Jason can't have open bowling on like Thursday night.
That's true. Yeah, and he does do a lot of open bowling business, especially during vacations.
He gets open bowling, so I think we would have to go back to.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It doesn't bother me. I actually like bowling that way now.
Oh, I've enjoyed it. I've had probably more fun, just because it's us.
Different, yeah.
And whatever. Not bowling is good, but it's still fun.
But no, getting back to he bowled really well with Westport. It can be abysmal at times.
Yeah, I Rose is great. I love Rose.
Yeah.
The house is nice. It's clean. Like, it's not a dirty house.
No, not at all.
Nope. And
it's big. It's roomy.
But it's just house.
Yeah.
I won a Pro Tour there. 1240, I think it was. And that one. And the one before that, the month before that, I believe the winning score was 1390 at a different house. I mean,
Yeah, they had a Pro Series 10 stringer there a few years back, and I honestly think like 1222 won it. I think it was Surratt.
Wow. Tough again.
Yeah, it can be. It depends on the day there.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, though, I'd like to bowl. I was gonna bowl. I couldn't find a partner, and that was.
Sorry.
You and I wouldn't have been able to bowl.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think so.
My average go up that much?
We might have snuck in. I don't know. We do have the teams coming up the end of the month. And then the Pearson Classic will be at Stars and Strikes. So
yeah, it's a weird season.
It is. It is. So we do have one question, and I suspect this will probably take up the majority of our time for this week. And they would like to know, what are some of the top individual performances you've witnessed?
Good question.
I don't know if they want to know single string, 3-string, 5-string, 10, whatever it is. So, Brian, I think what we'll do is let's just talk about some of the top individual performances that you and I have witnessed.
I honestly think it's easy for me. The top individual performance I've seen is I watched Sarge throw 808 right beside him at Newport the first month that place was open. For someone to go 808 for 5 I had never seen an 800. I was 18 years old. And I looked at him at one point and I literally said, if you need me to step off, you just say, just move. And I will.
And I will.
When somebody's going $160, $165 a clip, the last thing you want to do as a young bowler is get in their way.
I'm not disagreeing, because I've been
You've been on both sides, probably.
I've been on both sides, and I am not going to make this about you or I in some of the big stuff, big strings or big tournaments we've had. The only thing I will say is that when I am bowling well, meaning a 200 string or a 500, anytime I've had a big series, I honestly have no idea what is going on around me.
Well, it's not even that I meant not around me. I just paced with him, but I didn't want to cut him off. I didn't want to clean my gutter in a shot. Like
I had, and I'll give you the example. The only one that comes to mind that I can think of is when I hit my 800 on the dot. It was in Bangor at a 10-string tournament. My front 5, I won 800. I had no idea. I couldn't tell you who was bowling next to me. To this day, I still can't tell
tunnel vision, man.
Who was bowling next to me. Now, I could tell you exactly what happened in the back 5. I started watching the TV. I started watching football. I started just, all of a sudden, my focus just went, boom.
You got distracted.
And that's on me. But Sarge throwing that, I mean, that would have been fun to watch. No doubt about it. That would have been.
And I mean, he came up and did it because Baker came up like the day before and threw like 740 or 750 or something like that, 760, something like that, and basically told him, go beat it. And he did.
He did. There's a couple that really will always stick with me. The first one was the first time I saw anyone ever go 1400. And what made it even better was it was the eliminations.
That's cool.
Russ Neely, when he went 1485 at Bangor, was during the eliminations. 10 straight strings, never took a break. It's 5 boxes. You're bowling against someone else. Swap lanes, bowl 5 boxes, swap. I mean, you're just going back and forth. And to anyone that's ever bowled 10 strings in a row, it is not easy.
Not at all.
Not at all. It takes a lot out of you.
You get through the front three, and then you start tightening up, and there's no chance for you to go stretch. So you just got to work through it.
Yep. So he had a run in the middle that I will never forget. Now, those of you that are listening to this that remember Russ when he was in his prime will know that, and he's kind of what taught me to get in the zone. Will know that Russ got in his zone when he was bowling, and nothing distracted him. So he also would get very animated when he was bowling, if he was bowling good. So Bangor back then did not have the lip, meaning you didn't step down.
Yeah.
The lip was after you had to step up once you got past the first set of seats. So you used to step down to carpet, and then you just stepped onto the bowling and stepped onto the approaches. Do you remember that, or?
I don't. That was the first year I bowled in Bangor. And that's honest. I can't remember if I bowled juniors there at all. The first year that I bowled in Bangor was 04.
Okay, and
that was my college, yeah.
And they had changed it by then. So he had a stretch, and I don't remember what strings it was. If it was a fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, or if it was a fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, whatever it was, where he went 160 plus, 160 plus, 180 plus, 160 plus. 4 strings in a row. And I remember him throwing a double. He went like double strike, punched the guts, made it, and a double strike. And his last one, he came back, and he used to run back. Like if he was in it, I thought he was going to run out the door, because he was just like, and he was
amped.
He had that look in his face, like, I'm so not a raper. Sorry, Step Brothers reference. To me, that was what I strived for. And just to watch him do that I think at the time was 50 years old, I'm guessing. Late 40s, early 50s, I'm guessing. Because it was 1990, 89, 90. Somewhere in that range, and he's got to be mid to late 70s now, I think.
Yeah, he and Charlie are close in age, right?
Well, Charlie's 80. No. Charlie's 82, 83, something like that, mid 80s.
So 5, 6 years.
Yeah, I think Russ is like mid to late 70s. My mother's 70, going to be 75, so I think Russ is like 77, somewhere in that range, late 70s. Yep. But he went 1485. He set the state record and was just like, holy shit. I'm like, I was just starting to get into adult leagues and stuff like that. And I'm sitting
there. Bowling, yeah.
I'm like, that's what I got to go against? I'm like, oh, man. So, yeah, I mean, it was out. What other top performances can you think about?
You and Jason's 500s, 500 and 512. Those are just...
God,
Jason, I don't know if he missed a 9-pin drop that night, and he threw a lot of them.
I know. It was against me.
Yeah, it was against you, but to see... Did he have, 2 open boxes all night?
No,
weren't 10s? That weren't 10s.
Oh, that were...
he might have left 3 pins on the plate.
Keep talking. I think I've got the score sheet somewhere.
There's that, and then my dad's 496 on 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Back in the Wednesday night league, that was a lot of fun to watch. He left the 4 on the right. I'm trying to hold it up here.
Yeah.
Where you get these 4, and you're supposed to play at the you got the 5-pin. No, I can't remember. It's the 4 in the corner, and you're supposed to play the inside triangle and throw it off the wall.
Yeah.
And he played the outside pin and cut everything over, and he left the 6-pin.
Oh my God.
So he cut the whole back row and left the 6.
Oh, that sucks.
And then tended up for 496. That was against Kenny Bickford. So anybody that knows Kenny, it was really fun to watch.
No,
Um,
no comment.
yeah. I've kept score for a couple more since 200s he's had in league.
I have
Um,
I have never kept score for 200 string.
it's
I
interesting because as you're scoring, you're just kind of like, oh, good shot, good shot, good shot. And you get like you get to start the back half, and then they throw it on the mark, and you're like, oh, they throw a double. I mean, and then they throw a double, and you're like, oh, okay. The first time you get to write two at the end, it's pretty cool.
yeah, I've never kept score for the best I kept score for 199, and that was my sister's 199 at Lisbon Falls.
Mhm.
Um, that was cool.
I kept score for Lapierre's 192 in Moncton in the Worlds
I remember that string.
Mm.
Um,
because I think Winchell threw 192 the same match, like a string later.
oh, that's funny. The other one that I just obviously Jason's 512 that he threw against me.
Mhm.
That might be the greatest three-string individual performance I've ever had the pleasure of witnessing. And I say pleasure because as I get older, I absolutely love watching good bowling.
Yeah.
And I don't care who it is. I want to see big strings. I want to see big totals. It's fun to me to watch something like
You like big
that.
scores and you cannot lie.
And yes, and to me, it's just when someone's on a roll like that. Um, I mean, I tried to keep up with him that night. I kept up with him in the first string. I think he beat me. I think he threw like a one. I don't even remember what his scores are. I thought I had it on here, and I can't find it. Um, I can't remember what he threw for first string, but it was like he threw like a 170 something, and I was like a 160 something, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have a fun night.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun. And I mean, I went 420 on the night,
Yeah,
I
you have
think.
428 or something like that.
So,
Yeah.
somewhere in that 420, and
Got
I
buried by
lost
almost 90 pins.
oh my god, Jason, it was fun. You could tell in the last half of the third string, he was thinking about it,
Mhm.
and you could see it because he had no idea what he had until someone said after the front half of the third string, because he had to go back to work.
Yeah.
Someone went up and said, "Oh, you got a chance at 500," and he
You
had
want to
no idea.
smack that dude upside the head.
And Jason had no idea. So when he got up, he missed a shot, and I forgot what it was. It was a fairly easy shot. He did it. He missed a 9-pin drop. Um, not the he made a spare in the sixth, missed it in the seventh. And I remember him. He kind of looked at me, and I just he and I just had a little moment of I'm like, dude, just
Throw a double.
relax. Like
Yeah.
you're good. Just and he comes out and he went spare open spare for that 512.
Mhm. Which tied the house record.
Tied the house record, which goes to show you how fast it used to be there.
Yep.
Uh,
Well, Rufus was a really good bowler too, from what I heard. Rufus Klewer back in the day.
I didn't mean it any other way other than it was a
Right.
fast house.
It was, and it was
Yeah,
faster.
yeah. Um,
As it seems to me in bowling, every house used to be faster.
can I wish. I'm going to say because I know we talked a little bit about it um, with Fuller when he was on. I wish every house would be fast for two reasons and two reasons only. First reason is it's fun to watch big strings. I don't care.
Mhm.
It's fun. I'll admit
If
it.
it's
It's
fast for
fun.
you, it's fast for everybody.
It's fun. I love. Great. So I have big strings. Cool. Everybody else does, and they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
The second part is your open bowlers or your normal league bowlers go in to have a good time. They go in to
It's
have
a
a couple
night
of
out
beers.
for them.
It's a night out. Why not
It's
make it
not
fun?
us that's practice. Yeah.
Why not make it fun for them?
Charlie used to. We had flippable gutters in Bangor for years. And
Flatten
every
the
Monday
damn-
night league, he flattened the fuckers out. And then when a state tournament came around, he'd flip them.
Yeah. Flatten the damn gutters out. Good. Bring the curtain all the way back, as close to the thing as you can get and still keep it legal. Make the put some iron behind the rubbers
Yeah.
on the sides.
Make it fly.
Man, you know how much fun people would have? Think about it. Think about your average league bowler, your 100, you call it your 100 average bowler. And he comes in, and his first string he throws a 140. He's all excited, right?
He has a new favorite house.
Your next string for him, maybe it's a 120, maybe it's a 115. But then he goes out and he throws a 130. So what that he went 380, 390? Who cares?
He might come in practice now to try and get to 4. There's extra money. He might pick up another league. He might start bowling tournaments. It's all getting the game back to where it needs to be. And I think you bring up a great point. In order to get asses in those seats to keep score and on those lanes to bowl, we have to make this more appealing to young people. And they want to score big in everything. They want to score 100 points in basketball. They want to hit 600 home runs. They want to have 18 holes in one on a golf course. They want to throw 120s.
So I am not one of those longtime bowlers that says, toughen this thing up. Let's make this as tough as possible. Oh, bullshit. I'll say it. Bullshit.
The U.S. Open is fun in golf, but I wouldn't want to play it every fucking week.
I don't even think the U.S. Open is fun. That's actually my 4th favorite tournament to watch out of the majors.
Just because it's so hard?
It's stupid. You shouldn't be hitting it. If you're going to play in the regular tournament and your rough is not 5 inches deep, then why the fuck are you making the U.S. Open 5 inches deep? And then, not only that, but you're taking the fairway, which is normally 30 yards wide, and fuck it, we're going to make it 15 yards wide. Cut it out. Like that's just being stupid.
It's fun, and I'll say it again. Tiger made golf fun when I was a kid, and I play golf because of Tiger. I'll come right out and say it. I was 12 years old when Tiger Woods won his first Masters, and I can tell you exactly what I got for my 12th birthday 2 months later in June. I got a set of golf clubs because I wanted to be the next Tiger Woods. Now, Tim and some of you listening have unfortunately gotten to see me play golf before. I am nowhere near I'm not even John Daly. I don't know if I'm John Daly's kid.
So Brian's what we call he gets his money's worth. He sees the entire course.
Dude, I take all kinds of cool nature walks, man. I see woods and I see ponds and I see rough and tall grass, and I play golf, and people will call me stupid because I am anywhere on a good day I'm 90, and on a bad day I'm 110. But I'm going to stay right in there until I figure, well, when you lose 100 pounds in 2 years, your swing gets all messed up too.
Yeah.
Not that it was good to begin with, but I'll spend $500 a year to go on a week-long golf trip with my buddies. Do I know I'm going to finish last? Yeah. Do I have a shitload of fun that week? Oh, yes. And that's how bowling should be for those that aren't into it.
So someone once said to me, yeah, but if they're, something about if they were juiced up for tournaments, and I'm like, okay, stop right there. If they're juiced up for tournaments, who has a better chance of bowling a bigger string? And let's use you and I as an example. In a 10-string tournament, call it the old Pro Tour, the old main Pro Tour.
Mm-hmm.
If we go to Gardner, which was always juiced up, if you threw 4 marks in a row, what was going to happen on your 5th box?
Me? I'm probably trying to throw it through the backdrop, and I punch the middle.
Right. Okay.
Or I punch half Worcester.
Okay. Now, me or Charlie Mylan or Chip Carson or Russ Neely or Nate Neely or someone like that, if someone of that caliber throws 4 marks in a row, what's going to happen on the 5th box?
They're going to throw a 5th mark in a row.
More than likely.
And you know what? Yeah, and I see where you're going with this, and I like it because in a situation like that, I might go 1260 and be all happy and everything. Well, you went 1330, you won. standard quo. You bowled good. You bowled what you should have in a juiced up house. But now I'm super happy, and I can't wait for the next tournament
Thank you.
to go bowl in.
Thank you.
I can't wait to go practice and try and get to, yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is, if I'm a 125 average, and I'm bowling against someone that's a 115 average, and we go to a souped up house, then I'm probably a 135 average, and this person's probably a 125 average.
Who's never been a 125 average
never
before.
been a 125 average. So my whole point behind that is, odds are is over the course of a 10-string tournament, I'm still going to finish better than the person that has a 115 average. Odds are. Maybe I have a bad day.
Maybe but you know what? You have a bad day, but you know how to handle that bad day. And you're like, all right, well, I got to bowl better next time. Somebody who is 100 average and they're trying their first tournament and they end up bowling an 85 average, well, guess what? They're probably not going to go do again.
Mm-hmm. So as far as I'm concerned, and you vilify me if you want, if you're one of those guys that I'm not going to say you're wrong because everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm just telling you for the sake of the game and for the sake of this sport that I have done for 40 plus years, juice the fucking plates. Get people excited to be in that bowling alley. You want people to come back, make it scoreable.
Yeah.
You may not like it. I don't care if you like it, but make it scoreable. Bring 2 extra towels with you the next time. I knew going to Gardner, I brought 2 towels.
I brought 3.
I never once, ever in the history of evers, bitched about being able to hold on to a ball anywhere. Ever. Because
you just toweled it off.
I just toweled it off. If it fell out of my hand or slipped, you know what? That's on me for not taking a second. I don't have a fucking pitch clock.
Right.
There's nothing that tells me I have to throw a ball within 15 seconds.
That's coming, though. Wait. That'll come.
And fine. Towel, whatever. People that bitch, but well, my hands get dirty. It's a fucking bowling alley. Go wash them.
It's like the people that are like, well, it's just too loud. It's not a fucking library. It's a bowling alley.
Right.
And I hate to be that guy, but I am that guy that when people are like, hey, or some woman's like, hey, my kid's over here. Well, it's men's league night. Don't bring your fucking kid. They're going to learn a whole lot of new fucking words from Uncle Brian.
I will admit that when there's open bowling and I'm bowling near them,
I do too.
I try to be good.
And you know I do too, even though I said that. But I'm talking about the people that are there every week. And then they have, and you know what? If they're occasionally bringing their kid, I'll even try. Okay, then they're not here every week, whatever. But when like people bring their kid every week and like, hey, can we not curse? I'm like, dude, come on.
It's a bowling alley.
Yeah.
It's a men's league.
Just yell earmuffs.
Yeah.
Then you can say whatever you want.
So I know we went off tangent. We got away from the top individual performances we've witnessed, and we'll get back to that next week because we
talked about a bunch of them though too.
We did. I mean, there's more. I honestly, on something like that, on that question.
Hey, let's just give them a taste and leave them wanting more.
I mean, there's a lot more that I could talk about. Yeah. From that perspective. Nate LeBlanc's 1486 in Bangor last year, 2 years ago. Last year.
2019, October 2019, Can-Am.
Okay, year and a half ago.
I was one of his many victims that weekend.
His big string, unfortunately, was against me. His 180-something. He threw that against.
He threw 146 to my 115, but I think we won the string. I think it was one of their 3 losses all weekend.
It's just so. I mean, Nate LeBlanc's at. Val Joy, when she threw her 200 string, my sister's 199 string. In the worlds, I've seen a bunch of big series from people. One of the most impressive being Surratt's 480, 470 at Academy.
Which I think is his high.
It might be.
Has there ever been a 500 in the worlds?
Not that I'm aware of. Oh, yeah, no, there's been 2 of them. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Craig Holbrook had 508 at Bangor, and Mark Gregory had 505, and Mark Gregory had 505 at Bangor too. I think. Oh, maybe his was up in Canada. I can't remember. But
you know what? Did it take? And I mean this with all due respect. I like Mark Gregory a lot, but did it take him, like 4.5, 5 hours to bowl that 3-string total?
No, because you got to think with a 500, you're throwing a lot of marks, so you're only throwing 1 or 2 balls.
Yeah, but if those 1 or 2 balls take 3.5 minutes apiece.
No. So no, those are the only 2 500s that I can think of in the world.
Nice.
And the 200 strings in the world, the only ones that I can think of, Davey, Chip,
Phil,
and Phil Bernatchez. Chip and Phil's was done within 10 minutes of each other.
Yeah, Chip had the state record.
Chip had the state record for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
and then Phil beat it. And then Davey threw one obviously up in Halifax his first year. Those are the only 3 that I can think of. I don't think there's been anything more than that in the world.
Anybody that knows of any, send them to Ripping the Rack Podcast at gmail.com.
Hey, where else can they find us, Brian? You do it this time.
Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, wherever you digest your podcast. Mediums. We also are on YouTube. You can leave us YouTube comments. Facebook at Ripping the Rack Podcast. Twitter at Ripping the Rack Podcast. And wherever else Tim has put us. Not Parlor, though.
Not Parlor. Or MeWe. Oh, all right. That's all I got. I got nothing. I got nothing. We'll hopefully have a guest next week. I've got a couple that I'm lining up for future appearances as well.
We promise you won't have to deal with us two anymore. So,
no, they're always going to have to deal with us too. So thank you for listening. We appreciate it, and have a great week.
Stay safe.